A live look at downtown Troy tonight. The city saw 94-degree temperatures this afternoon. That heat forced the Troy-Miami County Public Library to close. The library posted on Facebook this was due to a lack of air conditioning inside the building. The library has not said if it plans to reopen tomorrow. The heat also impacted fire crews. Miamisburg Fire Battalion Chief Jim Barber told WHIO-TV tonight because of the heat, he had to call extra crews to this house fire at a duplex in Miamisburg. He told us they had to rotate crews to protect firefighters from the heat. Nobody got hurt.
And now, your Storm Center 7 forecast with meteorologist Robert Gauthreaux III.
My goodness, it was hot today. You've been warning us about this all week long, but I stepped outside and it just smacked me in the face.
I'm confused because I move up here and they're like, oh, we hardly get in the 90s. Yeah, we get maybe a few times a year, but I think we've seen half of our allowance for temperatures in the 90s so far in the last week or so, which is no problem by me because I'm used to it.
Yeah, you're used to it. I came from Wisconsin. You're coming from down south.
Yeah, so it's okay. I can deal with it, but I was a little surprised. I mean, things certainly get cold too around 6 months from now, so I'm not complaining about either. But temperatures are still a little bit warm, but we're looking at less humidity too. You can see temperatures in the 70s at this hour, 76 in Dayton, and one reason why the temperatures are in the 70s, at least at this point, is because there's lower humidity across the region. So it looks like the warmest is Springboro at 79, 73 in Greenville, as well as Winchester. That looks to be the lowest. But overall, if you've just stepped outside in the last couple hours, especially since those storms passed, it really does feel a little bit better outside. There's lower humidity, it's still warm, it's still comfortable, and one way we know that the whole front pass bringing us some of this cool, dry air is because all those winds are coming from the northwest. And what's toward our northwest? More cold. So you can see drier air coming in from the north. We're not seeing any southerly winds at this point anymore. And so things are a little bit more comfortable outside. And despite that, it's still going to get pretty warm tomorrow. But the difference is we won't have as much humidity. We're going to be in the upper 80s, and temperatures are likely going to feel like they're in the upper 80s. So that's definitely going to be pretty nice. So temperature map popped back up for some reason, but we can see wind speeds. Yep, there we go, down in the south, coming out of the northwest. Now, the dew point is what tells us how much moisture is in the air, and not too long ago, earlier this evening, we had dew points in the 70s, where you see that top bar here, but now a lot of us are seeing dew points in the mid to low 50s. In fact, below 55 feels very, very dry, and that's what we're seeing right now in Dayton, feeling dew points about 53 degrees, so there's definitely a drier feel now, a lot drier than it was earlier. Now, earlier this evening, those storms kind of flared up, but notice they started really just south of Dayton. They still were in Montgomery County, had that storm report near Centerville, but as these storms pushed off toward the southeast, they brought a lot of damage with them, and you can see all of these icons indicate storm damage, mainly trees and things knocked over, that sort of thing, but we had quite some damaging storms as they moved just south of us and then down into Kentucky, as well as other parts of Ohio and West Virginia. So they were pretty intense. Not everyone saw rain today. It was generally areas south of Dayton. And you can see, like I showed you earlier, we had the storm near Centerville, which produced some wind damage there, also some damage around Xenia, and then as you head down into Clinton counties, and then looks like even near Lebanon, and then also in Butler counties, we had trees on top of power lines, that sort of thing, so a lot of people still without power. But we're left with some clearing skies at this point, and with the low humidity, that'll allow the temperature to drop. You can see in the mid-60s overnight, but we're still going to be warm into tomorrow, with temperatures getting into the upper 80s, and then getting even warmer as we get toward the weekend. With the humidity, looking at Saturday, wouldn't be surprised if it felt close to 100 degrees again. But the good news is that even though the cool weather is brief, the heat will be brief too, because we're back into the low 80s, perhaps even lows in the 50s by next week.
Thanks, Robert. And check out how some animals beat the heat out west. Look at them. Take a look. These otters at the Oregon Zoo rolled around on some ice. They look like they're having a good time. Temperatures across Oregon hit in the mid-90s today. I wish that we got to just kind of roll around on some ice. Wouldn't that be nice?